Hey everybody, it's Ravenflower. This has been a long time coming. Okay, I am doing something different. So I wanted to do this during Christmas, but Christmas was like a blur. It was crazy. Yuletide time was just a mess. But you can see the sign above me here, this right here, that one. Rudy's. I'm over here at Rudy's Barbecue. They call it the worst barbecue in Texas. It's not. It is delicious. But I make tamales, but I make them with their chopped beef. They got chopped meat or whatnot in barbecue sauce and slather and good as delicious. It's so good. Anyhow, so my husband was, let me get out of the road so that people aren't going to run me over. My husband grew up in Arkansas, and he had a place called McLard's Barbecue, and they did a barbecue tamale there. So he kind of had the idea to do it over here with this, so we do it a little bit different. So I add barbecue sauce and rub and all kinds of stuff to the masa itself, and then I use their meat. So I am going to Lady Grave Dancers tomorrow and go be with Trina and have fun, I was going to say witchy threesome. You know we're not all that dirty, right? You know. Okay. All right. So, anyhow, so I was going to make these tamales, bring them, and, basically break a bread, I guess. Break a tamale bread. So, stay tuned. I will show you what this all looks like and how we go about it, and we will go from there. All right? Stay tuned. We're walking around the outside of Rudy's here and going into the front. Can't find my husband. I don't know where he went. Probably hearing all this weather blast. This wind blast in your ear. I don't see him in there. Nope. Okay, it started off as a country store, and then this one guy, Rudy, apparently, started a little business out of it, and so they do all kinds of wonderful stuff in here. It's a good place, y'all. Good place, y'all. What is it? Look at that. Super Bowl sweepstakes. Very nice. Alright, I'm waiting for my husband to come, and then we're gonna get some food, and then I'm gonna take away some of the meat and all that stuff, and we will be back. Okay, everybody, I am back from Rudy's, and I am getting ready to make the masa for the tamales. The masa is that kind of a cornmeal, doughy type stuff that is surrounding the meat. What you're gonna, this is how fancy my recipe is. You see this? Look at this. This thing is probably 5-6 years old, maybe older. My neighbor taught me how to make tamales, and this is what she used. Or this is how she told me to get with it. So what this is 4 cups of hot water. 4 cups of hot water right here. 3 cups of dry masa, and I use this brand. Then, that's masa broso. Broso? I don't know if I said that right. Instant corn masa. Then I need 1/2 cup to 1 cup of liquid lard. So basically lard that is melted down. I'm using this brand here, the Morel Snow Cap. I have it melting. It's right here. It's going to be very hot, and it stinks. It literally stinks. Then you use some of this. It's called Knorr seasoning. This is the bouillon, and it's the loose bouillon. We use beef for this. And I also use Rudy's rub from where I was just at, and Rudy's barbecue sauce. Now these things you can get online. If you go to, I think it's Rudy's.com, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, the original. I will find the link and try to put that in the down bar, in the description bar for you guys later. Okay, so I've got my 3 cups of dry masa already in my bowl. I'm ready to start adding in some of the other things. The Rudy's rub, I kind of do all my dry ingredients together, and then I kind of add in the wet ingredients, because once I get it too wet, it's hard to go backwards. So I do a lot of this to taste, and I kind of know what I'm doing because I've done it for so long. Let's get a smaller one here. Okay, but basically I've got a 1/4 cup right here. I'm not going to fill that up with all of this rub because that would be extremely spicy, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to make people crazy. This one's sticking a little bit.
Make me crazy.
Oh, that's a bear in the background there. You're gonna make you crazy. He likes more spice. He always wants me to make him, you know, more flavor, more flavor, more flavor. And sometimes I think it can go a little overboard, because you can always add more sauce or rub onto your actual tamale. So there's not even a 1/4 cup, okay? I'm putting that in there to give it some flavor. All right. Then I am going to do probably a 1/4 cup of the beef bouillon. Because again, well, let's do a little less. Let's just, again, once you do too much, you can always add, you can't take away. So again, I'm a little less than 1/4 cup there of the beef bouillon. And now we're going to start adding our lardy. Okay, this is 1/2 cup. This is already my 1/2 cup that I stuck in there. And it's extremely hot. So I'm just going to let that kind of, ooh, look at that, melting my stuff together here. Let me turn that down. Does not need to be on high. So I'm just going to let that cool a little bit, and then I'm going to start adding in some of my water. This is 4 cups of hot water. You can, I don't know if you can see some of that steam coming off of there. And I just kind of put it in there like so. Just a little bit, and I'll just do like a cup at a time. Forgot to take off my wedding rings for this. Babe, I'm taking off my ring!
Offer some pork.
What? I don't know what he said just now. He made some snide comment. Alright, took off the ring. Because I get in here with my hands. And I'm going to move this about just a little bit so that I can get to mixing up here. So, let's try to move you a little bit over so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So here it is. I've got about a cup of hot water in there, and I can already feel the heat from it. So, I mean, obviously you don't want to burn yourself. So if you can do this, you can, then awesome. I like to get in there with my hands because I feel that I'm transferring my love to basically, you know, my intentions to the food. And, you know, you're just going to get messy. I mean, get ready. It's going to get yuck. But I think there's a connection to it. I like to get my hands in there. I also mix cakes this way. I like to mix cakes with my hands. I know it sounds weird, but I feel the connection and the energy of my hands to the actual food. All right, it's still a little dry. This is not the consistency that we want at all. And I'll put in some of this lard. It looks like I have melted my cup. Okay, note to self, don't use plastic. All right, so I'm going to put in the rest of the 1/2 cup. Ooh, sizzle, sizzle. So you know it's hot. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. All right. So that's that. And it's not so hot that you're going to go burn yourself, but please be careful, all right? Be careful, people. All right, more water. This is not the consistency we want just yet. You're looking for kind of a dough-like consistency. It's got to sort of hold its shape. Mix and mix and mix and mix around. Okay, I'll be back because this may take a little while. Okay, we're back. Now, you can see the consistency of this. I've added some of the barbecue sauce to the mix just to change the color slightly, and it's going to make this, you know, disgusting, gross sound. I'm going to scrape all the edges off, but because I'm also using the barbecue sauce, notice I've only used 2 cups, basically. Let me put a little bit more. 2 cups of the hot water. I have another 2 cups sitting over there that I don't even think I'm going to use for this. This, I think, is going to be just about perfect. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of ridicule. Here's this, you know, crazy white girl over here trying to make tamales. And they're barbecue tamales at that. But I don't make them in the traditional Mexican way. But as you can see, you see how this dough is sort of just forming, and it will give you a good, like, fingerprint, you know, in it. You can do like a good fingerprint. That's kind of the consistency you want. You know, you can see your hand creases in here. That's what you're looking for. You can go a little drier than this if you want to, but I'm not doing the traditional where it's very wet and you just scrape it across. That's not what I'm doing. I feel like it needs to be a little bit thicker because of the type of meat that I'm using, and because it is, you know, drenched in barbecue sauce. It needs to be a little bit thicker. It needs to really hold it. So this is basically enough to probably do maybe 1.5 dozen tamales. I'm doing at least 3 dozen tonight for my trip up to Tequila's house. I figured 3 dozen should cover it. And she's making some sides and all that other stuff, and it's going to be really cool to have a nice witchy meal with some witchy friends. So there you go. So there's my dough. Now we're going to get to spreading here soon. What has been happening, let me get this stuff off here so you can see. What has been happening also, let me take you off of here. Okay, sorry the big hand. Come this way. All right, I have been soaking my corn husks in really hot water. So those have been soaking for at least 2 hours. 2 hours now. And you want to do that because you want to release any, you know, yucks that might be in there. Sometimes you'll find little bugs. Yeah, seriously, little bugs you'll find in there. So you want to really soak them. You want to clean them off. You want to remove anything that looks like it might be moldy, because sometimes they package them together and they'll mold. So you want to throw that out. You don't want to be cooking with that kind of stuff. You don't want to put your food in there. So basically you soak them until they're a little bit soft and pliable. You can see how easily this bends instead of like the rigid, you know. Soak them back. I've now moved to the table. We have this wonderful D&D mat. Don't know what D&D is. That's Dungeons and Dragon or Hackmaster or whatever. And clean down the mat really good because I have a wooden table, and it's nice that this doesn't get all into the table. So this has been sanitized and cleaned. This is also a good time to, on your area here, you can also you can place your energy here. Your energy is also going to be here just because you're working in this area, but this is a good time to possibly do sigil work. You can do symbols, you know, however you wish, to prepare the placement of the meal or of the food into this area. So you can do that. You can do that now. We have our meat. Here's from our Rudy's chop. This is what it looks like. Look at how juicy that is. I wish you could smell it because it's off the chain, and it's a mix of like brisket, and I think there's even turkey in there and all kinds of stuff. It is really good stuff. So have a little spoon. I've soaked my corn husks, and there's like a really rough side. Hope you can see that. Come on, focus. There's a very rough side, and then there's a sort of smooth side, and it's kind of like a shiny smooth, and you can definitely feel the difference. So there's like coarse and dry, you know, smooth thing. So here I have, I'm trying to think how I do this. It's been a while, y'all. So I take a little bit of my masa, have a little bit here. This might be a little bit too much. I roll it in a bit of a ball and then into like a cylinder shape. I place it, that's what I need to do, come here. I place it just right about here, and then I take another one of these guys. Come on now. and sort of put it on top, and I make sure it's the smooth side. And I just sort of push down. Sort of push it all down in place, and you want to get it closer to this side here, and lift it up. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. If you want to just, I'm sorry, that is my washer in the background that's trying to die. My poor washing machine. The bearings are going, and we're getting new parts here soon. So if you hear that horrible sound in the background, that I wish somebody had closed the door, but they did not, that's what that is. But this won't take very long. So I kind of push it all down or whatever, and you want to leave a little space here at the end. And there's a reason for that. Okay, so you spoon a little bit of your meat, and you kind of place it here in your tamale. See the spacing? And then you just sort of fold it on top of each other. Can you see that? Fold it on top of each other like so. So you're taking one side, I'm using, and I'm just sort of manipulating either side. There you go. If you have like a little hole you want to fill up, you can just use this stuff like putty. This is white girl's way of doing tamales. So, I mean, don't get all crazy. So then you just sort of wrap it, and I roll it. And I roll it and tuck it into itself. Roll again, roll again, roll again. Here I have it like this, and I sort of squish this bottom side like so, and then I lift the flap. So then your tamale is there inside. And as you cook them, they cook sitting or standing up like this. So while you're preparing them, you would just sort of put them in a pan like so, and you just sort of stack them on top of each other, and then you put them all in the pan, the big pan. My tamale pot is we found out is broke, so Bear's on his way to go find another one for me real quick, because I can't cook tamales without a tamale pot. And the tamale pot, I guess when it comes I can show you, but tamale pot basically is a pot, and then it has another pot inside of it with holes in it that you put all of these, you know, point up like this, and then as the tamales cook, they're gonna like this masa will actually like bulge. It will, yeah, your masa's gonna bulge. So basically, it's gonna like pop. You're gonna know it swells up and it gets, you know, larger. Okay, I feel really dirty saying this. Anyhow, I got a dirty mind. Anyhow, so yeah, it comes out of this little husk, and you know for sure that it's done. And I will let you know and tell you that when we get done here. So for now, that's how you do that. And we'll be back when we get ready to load them. Okay, everybody, we are at the point where we have loaded them in the fancy tamale pot, and they have been cooking a while. And this is what I meant about them popping out. Do you see how the masa has actually come out? Let me move you closer, maybe a little bit closer. See how the masa has actually come out of the little husk? That means it kind of like popped like a thermometer. It just sort of like bing. Okay, these are done. So, and they kind of have a little doughy kind of, I don't know how to describe that, but take a good look. There you go. Before my, oh, look, you got all steamed up. Ooh, got all steamy. There you go. So there you go. Those are tamales. Now, as far as cook time, I think cook time really varies. Cook time varies a lot. So really, you're looking for this pop. That could be, I want to say 30 minutes. It could be 45. If you have a lot of them, it could be an hour. But that's what you're really looking for. Make sure you put water in the bottom of the pan. So this tamale pot here, you have, well, let me lift it up for you. Sorry, trying to get my camera to do its thing. Come on now, camera. Eek. Okay. So, thing. Sorry, I have a new holder and it's working and then it doesn't work. All right, so the tamale pot has a place under it. I'm trying to find another pot holder. Okay, so it's like a colander underneath. See? So you've got your boiling water down there, and then your tamales just steam, and then your lid has to be pretty tight on there. But that's it. Tamales are done. I'm going to let those cool, and then I wrap them in foil, probably six to a little foil pack, and then I will load them in a cooler and take them tomorrow for good eatins. And there's my tamales. I generally try to make this around holiday time, so anytime between, I don't know, in the winter months we try to make these because they're not necessarily a healthy item. They're chock full of, you know, fat and all kinds of stuff in there. So, I mean, they're very fattening. I wouldn't recommend that you want to eat these on the regular, especially if you're dieting. I'm sorry for making this video. Because they are quite tasty. So I guess all things in moderation. Everybody can have a treat once in a while as long as you know, aren't doing it all the time. But we usually in the winter months we make these, and it's good because, you know, you're kind of nesting and cuddled up, and this is good comfort food. I also have made them like around Ostara or Easter time as well. Those are generally like with pork or whatnot. So yeah, those are my barbecue tamales. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I thank you to my helper, Mr. Bear, who has ran and got me my tamale pot, which is quite fabulous and an upgrade from what I had before. And I hope everybody who eats these loves them. Okay, bye. Blessed be you guys.